Reduce liabilities, debts, loans. It's time to move to a very important yet a little bit more difficult thing. So reducing expensive liabilities, debts and loans. And this is what we'll try to tackle in this lecture and a few more. So we're going to start with certain general rules that will help you reduce your debt. So first of all, you have to pay first the most expensive debt, as it has the highest interest that you have to pay. And this will enable you in the long run to save more money. Related to that is to pay the expensive loans debt as soon as possible, sometimes even before you were supposed to do that according to the agreement with the bank or the other loaning organization. I would also stress that you should always pay attention to something which we call liquidity. So in other words, you should be able to cover your payments in every period. So sometimes it does not make sense to overpay the mortgage you took, because it will make you vulnerable, because you might lose liquidity as you will not have sufficient amount of money to cover for unexpected expenses. Therefore, always pay attention to liquidity, and this should always be the first priority. Another rule that you should follow is to increase the amount of the cheapest debt to pay off the more expensive debt. So usually we suggest to enlist all the debts and to pay off the most expensive one in the first order. But sometimes you are not able to generate fast sufficient amount of cash to pay off the expensive debt. So you might, for a change, try to increase the size of your cheapest debt and use the money to pay the more expensive debt. Again, in this way, you will save a lot of money. If by any chance you have problems with liquidity, you should play with the length of the loan to be liquid in every period. So if the mortgage payment is so high that you are actually not able to cover your expenses and you have to use your credit card, it's better to increase the length of the mortgage in order to be liquid. In other words, in order to be able to pay all your expenses in every period. Obviously, on top of that, you have to do all the savings, but still be on the safe side always. And related to that, you might play with the size of the loan again to be liquid in every period. Some people make this mistake to take too low loan, for example, for buying the house, so the mortgage. And this means that they have to later on take a lot of short and expensive loans, credit cards, maybe car loan or other, in order to be liquid and cover for especially the unexpected expenses. So always try to be liquid, because in the long run, this will give you a lot of savings.